How to talk with anyone. Maya often found herself at a loss for words, especially when English was spoken around her. A deep sense of inadequacy washed over her, leaving her a quiet observer. Her desire to connect, to share her thoughts, was immense. Yet, an invisible barrier kept her silent, trapped within her own hesitant mind. She watched others confidently engaging in lively discussions, laughter echoing freely. A pang of longing would hit her, wishing she could join in, contribute, and express herself without fear. The thought of starting a simple conversation felt utterly overwhelming, a mountain too steep to climb alone. One evening, scrolling through social media, she stumbled upon videos about communication. The speakers emphasized starting small, taking tiny steps. It sparked a tiny flicker of hope within her. Perhaps how to talk with anyone wasn't an inherent gift, but a learnable skill, like any other. She resolved to change. Her journey began with acknowledging her fears, not suppressing them. Start step-by-step talking became her new mantra. No grand leaps, just small, consistent movements forward. This approach felt less intimidating, more achievable, a gentle push rather than a scary plunge. Her first concrete step in this way of learning English was to listen more intently. Not just passively hear, but actively process every word, every nuance. She started watching English movies with subtitles, then without, straining to catch every sound. This focused listening was foundational. Next, she focused on how to talk in English by talking to herself. Alone in her room, she would narrate her day, describe objects, or even mimic dialogues from movies. This private practice allowed her to make mistakes without judgment, building a crucial sense of comfort. She recorded her voice, listening back with a critical ear. It was initially cringeworthy, but invaluable. She identified pronunciation issues, awkward pauses, and areas for improvement. This self-assessment was key to understanding her specific weaknesses and targeting them directly for progress. To improve your fluency, Maya understood that thinking directly in English was paramount. She consciously stopped translating from her native language. Instead, she forced herself to form thoughts, even simple ones, entirely in English from the outset. This was challenging but transformative. Her mind felt like a tangled mess initially, struggling to find the right words without the crutch of translation. But with persistence, the internal English monologue became smoother, faster. It was like building a new mental pathway, making communication more direct and efficient over time. She realized that the best way to learn English was multifaceted, combining various techniques. Reading, listening, and speaking were all interconnected. No single method reigned supreme. A holistic approach was essential for comprehensive development and lasting improvement in her language skills. Reading became a cornerstone of her strategy. Why reading is important, she discovered, extended far beyond vocabulary acquisition. It offered insights into sentence structures, natural phrasing, and idiomatic expressions that pure listening might miss. It was a silent, powerful teacher. She began with simple children's books, then moved to short stories and articles. Each page turned was a small victory, expanding her understanding and building her confidence. Reading daily reinforced grammar patterns and introduced new words in context, making them easier to recall. The act of reading also helped her think and speak more coherently. By internalizing well-constructed sentences, her own spoken sentences became more organized and logical. It was like absorbing the blueprint of good communication, which she could then apply to her own speech. Next came the terrifying, yet crucial, step: how to talk to people in pairs. She joined an online language exchange platform, cautiously searching for a partner. The idea of a real-time conversation filled her with a mixture of dread and anticipation for genuine practice. Her first few video calls were a blur of nervous fumbling and stammering. She felt her face flush, her heart race. But her partner, a patient English speaker named Alex, was incredibly encouraging, creating a safe, non-judgmental space for her to practice and grow. They started with simple introductions, then moved to describing their daily routines. Maya found herself constantly searching for words, but Alex would gently provide them or encourage her to rephrase. This supportive environment was exactly what she needed for comfortable growth. These pair conversations were invaluable for improving her fluency. She learned to link words, to use contractions naturally, and to speak with a more native-like rhythm. The repetitive practice helped solidify new vocabulary and grammatical structures in her active memory. Alex encouraged her to ask questions, even if imperfectly phrased. He taught her the power of clarification and asking for repetition. This interaction was vital for building practical communication skills beyond just reciting memorized phrases, fostering genuine dialogue. Slowly but surely, Maya's confidence began to bloom. The pauses became shorter, the words flowed more freely. She started anticipating Alex's questions and formulating her answers in real time, without mentally translating back and forth. It was a remarkable shift. She realized that making mistakes was not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the learning process. Each error was a lesson, a stepping stone towards greater accuracy and fluidity. This acceptance liberated her from the paralyzing fear of imperfection. Her internal voice, once hesitant, began to assert itself. She could now think and speak almost simultaneously, her thoughts directly forming in English. This was a monumental leap, enabling much faster and more natural conversations without mental blocks. The transition from private practice to public interaction was gradual. She started with low-stakes encounters, ordering coffee, asking for directions, making small talk with cashiers. These brief exchanges were mini victories, building her courage for larger conversations. Each successful interaction, no matter how brief, fueled her motivation. She started seeking out opportunities to speak English, no longer shying away from them. The world suddenly seemed more accessible, open to her newfound communicative abilities and enthusiasm. She joined an English conversation club, initially just listening. The lively discussions intimidated her, but she reminded herself of her step-by-step progress. Soon, she found herself contributing small comments, then asking questions, gradually becoming a more active participant. The supportive atmosphere of the club, similar to her pair work with Alex, fostered further growth. She learned from others' experiences, picked up new expressions, and gained diverse perspectives. It was a dynamic environment for continuous language and social development. Maya also dedicated time to extensive vocabulary building, beyond just reading. She used flashcards, language apps, and integrated new words into her daily conversations. A robust vocabulary provided the essential building blocks for nuanced and articulate expression. She understood that how to improve your fluency wasn't just about speaking fast. It was about speaking clearly, confidently, and with appropriate intonation. She practiced stress patterns and rhythm, making her speech sound more natural and less robotic to listeners. Her journey was a testament to the fact that the best way to learn English is not a magic bullet, but rather a combination of consistent effort, diverse strategies, and unwavering perseverance. It demanded dedication, but offered incredible rewards for her commitment. She discovered that language learning is deeply personal. What worked for one person might not work for another. She adapted strategies to fit her own learning style, making the process enjoyable and sustainable, rather than a rigid, burdensome task for her. The importance of curiosity also became apparent. She asked why for grammar rules, how for common phrases, and what if for different scenarios. This inquisitive approach deepened her understanding and made learning more engaging and less rote for her. Maya started consuming English media beyond just movies, podcasts, news articles, documentaries. This wide exposure to different accents and contexts further refined her listening comprehension and expanded her knowledge base, making her more versatile. The concept of active recall greatly boosted her memory retention. Instead of passively reviewing vocabulary, she actively tried to remember words, then checked if she was correct. This technique significantly strengthened her long-term memory for new words. She also engaged in journaling in English. Writing down her thoughts, feelings, and daily experiences helped solidify her grammar and vocabulary. It provided another avenue for thinking and speaking in English, even without a direct conversational partner. The fear of sounding silly or making mistakes gradually faded away. She embraced imperfections as part of the learning curve, focusing on conveying her message rather than achieving flawless pronunciation or grammar on the first attempt. Her understanding of cultural nuances also grew through her English interactions. Language is deeply intertwined with culture, and learning one often illuminates the other. This added another rich layer to her overall learning experience and understanding of people. Maya made it a point to celebrate small victories. A smooth conversation, understanding a complex idiom, or successfully telling a joke in English, each achievement reinforced her progress and motivated her to continue pushing forward diligently. She recognized that fluency wasn't about being perfect, it was about being able to communicate effectively and confidently. It was about connecting with people, building bridges, and understanding diverse perspectives without language being a barrier to connection. Her journey taught her immense patience, especially with herself. There were days of frustration, plateaus where progress seemed stagnant. But she learned to push through, reminding herself that learning is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring persistent effort. The transformation in Maya was profound. No longer the quiet observer, she was an active participant in conversations, her voice clear and confident. She could articulate her thoughts, debate ideas, and share her unique perspective with ease. She discovered that how to talk with anyone begins with a willingness to try, coupled with a systematic approach. It wasn't magic, it was consistent, deliberate practice applied over time, leading to remarkable and tangible results in her communication. Her ability to start step-by-step talking had truly revolutionized her life. From timid whispers to confident declarations, her journey was a powerful testament to the efficacy of breaking down large goals into manageable, achievable increments for success. The way of learning English she forged for herself was personalized and effective. It blended academic study with real-world application, proving that active engagement is superior to passive absorption for true language mastery and fluent speaking. Her mastery of how to talk in English was no longer a dream but a reality she lived daily. She could navigate social situations, professional environments, and even casual banter with surprising ease and natural fluidity of expression. The sustained efforts to improve your fluency had paid off exponentially. Her speech flowed effortlessly, her thoughts translating into articulate words without conscious effort or internal translation. It was a truly liberating experience for her. She now truly believed that the best way to learn English involved a blend of self-study, interactive practice, and a positive mindset. It was a holistic journey, not just about grammar rules, but about building confidence and connection with others. The continuous practice of how to think and speak had fundamentally rewired her brain. English had become her default language for internal monologue, making external communication seamless and incredibly natural for everyday interactions. Her experiences with how to talk to people in pairs had been the bridge from theory to practice. These safe, one-on-one interactions were crucial for building the practical conversational skills she needed for real-world scenarios and confident dialogue. She often reflected on how to learn English now, seeing it not as a chore, but as an ongoing adventure. Every new word, every smoother sentence, was a reward in itself, fostering a deep love for the language and its cultural richness. The immense impact of why reading is important resonated profoundly with her. It wasn't just about knowledge. It shaped her thinking, enriched her vocabulary, and provided a steady, quiet companion throughout her challenging learning process. Maya's story is a powerful reminder that language learning is accessible to everyone. With dedication and the right strategies, anyone can transform their fear of speaking into confident, fluent conversations, opening up new worlds of opportunity and connection. She now encourages others, sharing her journey and offering practical advice. Start small, she tells them. Embrace every mistake. Find a partner. And most importantly, keep going, even when it feels difficult and progress seems slow to achieve. Her initial shy self was a distant memory, replaced by a vibrant individual eager to engage. She traveled more, connected globally, and found a new sense of belonging in various English-speaking communities, feeling truly connected. The world, once daunting due to language barriers, now felt like an open book. Her confident voice allowed her to explore new cultures, understand different perspectives, and forge meaningful relationships across geographical boundaries with ease. Maya's transformation stands as a beacon of hope for anyone struggling with English. It illustrates that perseverance, combined with strategic practice, inevitably leads to fluency and the immense satisfaction of achieving a long-held personal goal. Remember, every confident English speaker began precisely where you are right now. The journey may seem long, but each small step accumulates into monumental progress over time. Believe in your capacity to learn and grow. Take that initial brave step, speak your first hesitant words, and trust the process. The world is waiting to hear your unique voice, your perspective, and your stories, expressed clearly and confidently in English. Your English fluency journey is within reach. Start today, step by step, and unlock a world of possibilities that awaits your confident participation. Let your voice be heard.